Durban street woman stabbed 14 times in front of son. Quarantine man crushed to death by pickup. GPFORCE conducts eradication exercise in Fort Nassau. In the region, Argentina COVID-19 restrictions extended as cases hit 3 million. And internationally, Indian COVID-19 patients die due to oxygen shortage. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. On Saturday, ranks of the Guyana Police Force conducted an eradication exercise on the left bank of Fort Nassau. At the location, 5 makeshift camps were found linked to fields of marijuana plants. At 4 of the camps, cooking utensils and small amounts of foodstuff were seen with hammocks and mattresses along with cuttings of marijuana. One of the camps had marijuana being dried and processed. Several salt bags with plant fertilizers were seen near the mentioned fields. About 15 feet away from the mentioned camps, there were corresponding farms with suspected marijuana plants measuring from 6 inches to 9 feet, planted on 15 beds. Further inspection of the said camp found several seeds, leaves, and stems suspected to be cannabis in a kitchen area of the camp. The suspected marijuana plants, camp, and drying areas were photographed and subsequently destroyed through cutting first and then setting the same on fire. The total amount of marijuana plants seen was over 20,000 and about 300 pounds dry compressed marijuana. The area was marked by its location, and the estimated street value for the suspected cannabis is approximately $800 million Ghana dollars. No arrests were made. The Guyana Police Force continues its investigation into the murder of a Durban street woman who was stabbed in front of her son. Esther Sobers has that story.
The Guyana Police Force is investigating the murder of 43-year-old Nicola Wilson, also known as Lisa, who was murdered by her 50-year-old lover, Lawrence Brommel, on Saturday at around 6:30 p.m. at Durban Street Lodge, Georgetown. According to the report, Wilson and her 14-year-old son returned home from church when she met the suspect at her home. She informed the suspect that he cannot accompany her to her sister's birthday party since he was not welcomed. It was further related that Wilson's son left the house but returned after he heard his mother screaming. It was reported he saw the suspect armed with a knife, stabbing his mother, who later fell to the ground on the back landing. He raised an alarm and confronted the suspect, who attempted to stab him but failed. The suspect then escaped. EMT from Central Fire Station responded and the victim was pronounced dead. 14 stab wounds were seen to the upper part of the victim's body. The police retrieved the suspect's weapon and the scene was processed. The suspect later ingested poisonous substance and was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he succumbed the next day. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. As domestic violence against women continues, 28-year-old Shanaz Mohammed of Fort Ordnance Housing Scheme, East Kanchi, Berbice, has been injured by her ex-partner. The suspect visited Mohammed's home sometime between 20 hours and 21 hours on Sunday and accosted her, holding onto her hair. He then pulled out a knife and dealt the victim several stabs to her face, neck, right hand, and back of her head. The perpetrator then escaped. The victim was picked up by neighbors who rushed her to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where she's admitted as a patient but in stable condition. An investigation is in process. Stick around, we've got more news for you after the break.
Alabama Trading has everything you need every day. The best brands at the lowest prices. And right now, you can save much more on a larger range of food products and everyday essentials. Choose from our extensive array of fresh and packaged food items. Plus, there's a huge variety in ladies' handbags and accessories, children toys, backpacks and school bags, bicycles, rugs, outdoor and indoor furniture, cleaning and sanitizing products, and so much more. Alabama Trading. Better products, better prices.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for doing surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets for all your holiday shopping. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. Specials on 65-inch and 55-inch Hisense TVs, Samsung French door fridges, Black & Decker appliances, iron, rice cookers, 2 and 4 slice toasters, coffee makers, kettles, and toaster ovens. Queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses, German-made pressure pot in 5, 6, 7 and 9 liters, 12 pieces pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans, Samsung smart stoves, sale 5 to 15% off store-wide.
Welcome back. Republic Bank Ghana Limited and the Ghana Bank for Trade and Industry have announced adjustments to their banking hours beginning this week. Both banks will now be open for business from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. until further notice. GBTI's new business hours will take effect from today, while Republic Bank's adjusted opening hours kicks in tomorrow. Republic Bank explains that the adjusted opening hours were instituted to help protect both its customers and staff in light of the threat posed by the pandemic. GBTI attributed its adjusted times to ensure maximum safety and preventative measures to curb the spread of COVID-19. The new operating hours comes in the wake of a record number of COVID-19 coronavirus cases and deaths. A quarantine man was crushed to death by a pickup over the weekend. Esther Sobers has more.
The Guyana Police Force is investigating a fatal accident that occurred on Saturday night at the number 19 Village Public Road, Corentyne, Berbice. Dead is 42-year-old Michael Hendricks of number 19 Village, Corentyne, Berbice. According to police report, the incident occurred at around 6:40 p.m. at White Bridge Access Road. Inquiries disclosed by the GPF claim that the motor pickup PXX 3661 was proceeding north along the access road when the driver, Zamal Hussein, attempted to turn the vehicle around to proceed out of the access road. In doing so, he felt the vehicle run over something. Upon investigating, Hussein noticed the victim lying on the side of the road in an unconscious state with injuries to his head. Hussein took the injured man to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where he was treated but succumbed to his injuries. A breathalyzer test was conducted on Hussein, which confirmed he was not under influence of alcohol. The vehicle has been lodged and Hussein was charged. Investigations continues. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The Ministry of Health and the National COVID-19 Task Force has issued the gazetted COVID-19 preventative measures for May, keeping in place the 10:30 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew. The measures also state that the wearing of masks in public places and gathering of no more than 10 people would continue this month to lessen the transmission of the disease. Social activities are also prohibited. No person shall host, attend, or visit a cinema except for a drive-in cinema, a private party, a banquet, ball or reception, a public or hotel swimming pool or water park, wake or vigil, a club or disco, a meeting of fraternal society, private or social club, or a civic association or organization, or other social activities, the guideline states. Recreational activities at rivers, creeks, beaches, swimming pools, and internal waters are also prohibited. Additionally, the restriction remains in place of any place of quarantine or isolation facility or prison or correctional facility. Persons are also not allowed to visit a patient in the hospital, nursing home, senior citizens' home, or any other care facilities. However, places of worship can host services at 40% capacity, while gyms, fitness centers, and restaurants, indoors and outdoor dining, can operate at a limited capacity. The gazetted measure remains in place until May 31st. Meanwhile, 2 persons who tested positive for the novel coronavirus have died, bringing the total number of deaths from the pandemic to 301. Don't go away. After the break, we've got your regional and international news.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets for all your holiday shopping. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. Specials on 65-inch and 55-inch Hisense TVs, Samsung French door fridges, Black & Decker appliances, iron rice cookers, 2 and 4 slice toasters, coffee makers, kettles, and toaster ovens. Queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses, German-made pressure pot in 5, 6, 7, and 9 liters, 12 pieces pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans, Samsung smart stoves, sale 5 to 15% off store-wide.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I could do here.
Hi guys, my name is Ms. Purja Singh and I'm the Senior Teacher at the Agriculture After School Program. Due to the spread of the coronavirus and the need for social distancing, we have moved our in-class learning activities to online via Skype. On the online side, we will be focusing on spelling, phonics, reading, and the National Grade 6 assessments. For more information, you can inbox us or call us.
Contact us on 675-4379.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
Alabama Trading has everything you need every day. The best brands at the lowest prices. And right now, you can save much more on a larger range of food products and everyday essentials. Choose from our extensive array of fresh and packaged food items. Plus, there's a huge variety in ladies' handbags and accessories, children toys, backpacks and school bags, bicycles, rugs, outdoor and indoor furniture, cleaning and sanitizing products, and so much more. Alabama Trading. Better products, better prices.
Welcome back. In the region, Argentina's hospitals are overflowing with COVID-19 patients, forcing the government of President Alberto Fernandez to extend movement curbs. Al Jazeera's Daniel Schulmiller reports.
The numbers keep rising. Argentina, like the rest of Latin America, is suffering a second wave of COVID-19's infections and deaths. The government has imposed a further 3 weeks of new, tougher lockdown restrictions, a nighttime curfew and schools returning to online classes. The authorities say their main aim is to relieve the strain on hospitals.
Today, the health system can't cope with another patient, not one more. We've reached our limit. The number of contaminated patients, even if it doesn't go up, has reached breaking point. It's overflowing. We can keep extending measures every 15 days or 2 more years, but what we've got to do is test and vaccinate.
The arrival of vaccines has been slow and sporadic. The Argentinian government says it's doing all it can to find new supplies, but so far only a small percentage of people have had both jabs, the elderly and those with already serious health conditions. In the meantime, the only other option is to keep asking its people to be patient and cooperate.
People need to be more aware and realise that our hospitals are full, that the health workers are exhausted, and we all need to understand what we as citizens need to do to fight this.
But there have been demonstrations against the government measures. The Argentine economy, already facing severe difficulties before the pandemic, has been hit hard.
We're trapped in a situation which we understand is for our own good, but we've got no help from anyone to help us fight through the pandemic.
The constant request to pack up early, stay indoors, keep your distance, have become for many an annoying drone in the background, even though they understand that it could be a matter of life or death. 3 million infections is a grim statistic in a horror story that also includes growing unemployment, homelessness and poverty, figures that will only keep rising until the coronavirus is brought under control. Daniel Schweiner, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
And internationally, 2 Chinese COVID-19 vaccines, Sinopharm and Sinovac Biotech, are under review by the World Health Organization for emergency use. That means it could give an official stamp of approval that they are safe and effective. Al Jazeera's Davia Golopan reports.
It's become a way of life around the world for more than a year now. Face masks, lockdowns, and closed borders. And many countries are still battling the spread of COVID-19, some with record numbers of infections and deaths. With an easily transmittable virus that knows no boundaries, vaccines have become the main focus to effectively slow down the surge in new cases. China, where the virus first surfaced at the end of 2019, has been developing and administering several vaccines, but they have yet to be approved by the World Health Organization.
To have the vaccines approved by WHO would be one of the indications of a rising power or this rising obligation and influence in global politics.
According to China's foreign ministry, vaccine assistance is being provided to 80 countries with exports to more than 40 others. But it is eager to get WHO approval for the 2 Chinese vaccines. It would open the door for overseas travel, although with caution. As the inoculation efforts step up, around the world, vaccine approvals could be laying the groundwork for what could be seen as a global vaccine roadmap, where the shot you get could determine which countries you can travel to. The European Union is considering a vaccine passport system where only certain approved vaccines qualify, which means those inoculated with the Chinese-made doses would be barred from entry.
China is now so integrated in global market and also global trade. Without the vaccine being approved, it could be possible that the flow of capital, the flow of labor, and also investment that China has overseas and foreign investment into China will all be affected.
But experts say approval could also pose a dilemma. Once China formally joins the global supply chain and collaborations like COVAX to supply poorer countries, it will need to ramp up production. It then has to fulfill international commitments and its own domestic targets. So far, not even 20% of China's 1.3 billion people have been vaccinated. Divya Gopalan, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
And finally, India's hospitals are struggling to deal with the world's steepest surge in COVID-19 cases. The country reported more than 350,000 cases and 3,400 deaths on Monday. Al Jazeera's Elizabeth Puranam reports.
Relatives of patients who died when this hospital's oxygen supply ran out are overcome with grief.
My boy had recovered 75%. If oxygen was available, he would have survived. But without oxygen last night, he died.
Others vent their anger at hospital staff in the state of Karnataka. One man said his brother called him at midnight asking for help.
We got a call at midnight that he's not getting his oxygen supply. He got married just 2 months ago. Now who will look after his family?
Karnataka is one of India's richest states, but also one of the worst affected. Few places in the country have been spared by the second wave of the virus. The capital, New Delhi, set up its first oxygen generation plant after more than 50 patients died when their supply ran out.
When we are completely dependent on supply chains and cylinders, then these problems are bound to rise. It is a great idea to overcome that problem. We have created an oxygen generation plant here. In simple words, it is a kind of oxygen concentrator, only with greater capacity.
Oxygen concentrators continue to arrive along with other international aid. Trains are being used to transport cryogenic tankers with liquid oxygen to those states hardest hit by the virus. The government has expanded the vaccination program to include everyone above the age of 18, but there are shortages of doses too. People have been waiting in a line outside this centre for hours. The vaccines arrived late and the process is taking much longer than expected. And that's only leading to more frustration for people standing in queues where proper social distancing isn't possible. Gladwin Rawat, like hundreds of others, waited for more than 3 hours for his jab.
I feel the delay in the center is the main issue because people have been waiting here since morning. They were told that the slot will open up at 10 o'clock, but they have been here like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And now we are getting, our turn to finally get in.
In some sites, vaccinations were delayed because of a lack of healthcare workers to administer them. To ease the pressure on the healthcare system, India's Supreme Court has asked the government to consider imposing a nationwide lockdown, but not before making arrangements for India's hundreds of millions of daily wage earners who must work every day to survive. Elizabeth Puranam, Al Jazeera, New Delhi.
That is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, take care.